What's going on, everybody? It is the Late Night Bangers Show. I am your host with the most, the point guard of podcasting, GunzPicks, sitting here live for you a little bit earlier than usual because, hey, I got a full schedule, but I wasn't going to come here without giving you some late night bangers to be uh, taken in on this one. Now, listen, I'm off a bad one. I went 0-3 last night. Uh, I'm gonna not try to repeat that again because listen, that was just absolutely uh, egregious of what happened. I felt like I capped it right. I just move on to the next day. I got to be able to forget what my loss is. I need to move on. I need to move forward. And what I did to myself on this one is I said, I'm not going to only give you 3 plays on this one. I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tonight because I fire shots. I don't hide. I just go back and I keep on firing because that's how you got to do it in the sports gambling world. But let's start this off properly as we get to the chat. Markel is going in there. Let's smack, baby. The bangers are early tonight, and we're going to be firing some 7 p.m. ones on this slate here, and these kick off real soon. So let me get into these. Ball State versus Akron, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're playing at Rhodes Arena, Akron, Ohio. And I'm going to be going with the favorite on this one, Akron, -9 as the play. Listen, Ball State lost 2 out of the last 3 games, 1-3 against the spread in their last 4. Akron, they're coming off winning 3 out of the last 4 games, 3-1 against the spread in their last 4. So this is a team that's heating up versus a team that is regressing. Now you got to look at Ball State's offense. They're ranked 119th in offensive efficiency, 71st in field goal percentage, 34th in three-point percentage, 147th in two-point percentage, 88th in offensive rebounds, and 306th in free throw percentage. I'm giving a lot of stats here. I'm throwing them out fast, but stay with me here, folks. But let's look at the Akron defense. They're ranked 110th in offensive efficiency, 115th in defending shots, 78th in defensive rebounding, which is better than Ball State, and they're 75th at defending two-point shots. So what I think is that this Akron team is going to match up perfectly versus the Ball State offense. Now you got Akron on this one. They're ranked 113th in offensive efficiency, 157th in field goal percentage, 114th in offensive rebounding. But they're going against a good defense. I'll give them that with Ball State, 20th in defensive efficiency overall. But if you actually look at how they defend shots, they're actually low on this one. 160th in defending all shots, 338th in defending three-point shots, 64th in defending two-point shots. So I think there's going to be a little bit of an advantage for the Akron Zips on this one as far as shooting the ball. But for some reason, Ball State has a really defensive efficient defense. Don't know why, but I think they don't contest shots and guard the ball very well. So, but you got to look at the last matchup. These two teams did meet in January 6th. Ball State won the game 70-63 as 3-point favorites. Now the line has swung to -9 for Akron. That is a 12-point egregious swing. Come on, man. That is telling me it's an Akron story here in a revenge spot. Plus, if you look at the matchup between Ball State and Akron has covered 8 out of the last 10, and Akron is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 home games. So give me the Zips all day long on this one at -9 as the play. As we move along the board, I know it's a little bit early and the times are a little bit off, so there's not many people watching us right now, but please, let's go, boys. Let's get into the chat. If you're watching me on Twitter, what are you doing? Come over to YouTube. Let's hang out. Let's talk. All right, moving on to the next game on the slate here. We're going into the Big Ten, baby. We're going Iowa versus Indiana. This game tips off at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm rocking a favorite once again here. Indiana, -4.5 as the play here. Listen, Indiana is 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 games. I know they're 4-2 in their last 6 straight up, and they're off a road win versus Purdue. Now, Purdue, that was a big win, but that was the second time that they played them all year, and I think it was just basically on the fact that Indiana just plays their best ball versus Purdue in both of those games. Now you got to look at Iowa. They're coming off a remarkable win at home. I mean, it was a remarkable. Hell, we had them on the Saturday show as one of my early picks. They won an OT versus Michigan State, 5.5-point favorites. They're 2-5 against the spread in their last 7, however. So that is a little bit of a concern for Iowa. Now, Iowa's offense really good. They're ranked 5th in offensive efficiency. but they're not really shooting the ball very well. They're ranked 117th in field goal percentage, 78th in offensive rebounding, and this team just seems to be ranked high for some reason on the offensive efficiency side. Doesn't make any sense. I think it's more predicated on the fact that they can shoot inside the arc really well. Now look at the Indiana defense. They're ranked 40th in defensive efficiency, 34th in defending shots, 135th in defending rebounds. So this to me looks like an Indiana defense that can really stand up against this Iowa offense. Now you look at the other side of the ball. There's going to be a huge discrepancy between the offensive side and the defensive side. Indiana's offense is ranked 21st in offensive efficiency, 29th in field goal percentage, 15th in three-point percentage, 61st in two-point percentage. Good offense for the Hoosiers. But when you look at the Iowa defense, not so much. They're ranked 171st in defensive efficiency, 298th in defending shots, 312th in allowing teams to get to the free throw line here, folks. Not a stat that you want to see when you are betting on a team, a bad defense. And you got that with Iowa. Now, Iowa did win the first matchup. Close game on that one. Indiana had to play on the road. 91-89 as 1.5 point favorites, with Iowa covering the spread. Now, Indiana, you see them sitting here favored 5.5. That's a 7-point swing. I love a big swing on game A to game B. Also, I got to look at Indiana. They're 10-5 against the spread at home, whereas Iowa is 3-7 against the spread on the road. And Indiana has covered 5 out of the last 7 versus Iowa too. So they didn't cover the last game. There is a revenge spot. Indiana's playing at home when they're at their most comfortable. They're 10-5 against the spread in that spot. Actually, I didn't get them at 5.5. I'm sorry. I meant 4.5 from my previous statistic on that one. So I like Indiana on this spot. The Hoosiers minus 4.5, 1 unit special. Firing shots on a beautiful Tuesday night. And we're just going to be cooking down the board here. Let's go to a little bit more action, shall we? Let's go Buffalo versus Northern Illinois. This game does tip off at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're playing the Convocation Center in DeKalb, Illinois. And we're going to be going with the dog on this one. Northern Illinois. +5 as the play on this one. Look, Purdue has lost. Buffalo has lost 4 out of the last 5 games straight up. They're 1-5 against the spread in their last 6. Now you got to look at Northern Illinois. They're 2-3 straight up in their last 5 games, and they're off back-to-back road games and losses. But they're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. So while Northern Illinois is probably not getting the W's, they're getting the covers regardless. Now look at the Buffalo offense on this one. They're ranked 198th in offensive efficiency, 231 in field goal percentage, 316th in three-point percentage, and they're bad on the free throw line, 252nd in the country in free throw percentage. So, like I said, you don't like to back teams that can't make shots at the charity stripe. But now NIU's defense, not so great, but they still match up fairly well with Buffalo in this one. They're 219th defensive efficiency, 175th in defending shots, 125th in defending three-point shots. So this is a team that really can stay neck and neck with Buffalo on the offensive side. Now, when we break down everything on the other side, they're pretty much matched up very evenly as well. No real things that really stick out other than Buffalo's defense really can't defend anybody. They're 251st in defending shots, 280th in defensive rebounds. So I think this is going to be more of even though NIU doesn't really blow the doors off as far as the shooting goes, because they're 108th in field goal percentage, they're still going to get open shots. So open shots are better shots for anybody to make. And I think in this spot, we got to be going NIU on that edge, offensive to defensive perspective. Now, these two teams did meet on January 7th. Buffalo did win the game 80-62 as 10.5 point favorites. Now you're seeing the line sitting here as at 5-point favorites for Buffalo. NIU's covered 5 out of the last 7 versus Buffalo, and NIU is 17-5 against the spread versus teams with a losing record here. So, I mean, both teams are really not blowing the doors off anybody, having a rough year altogether. But I think NIU's just playing with a revenge spot in mind here, being a short dog at home. So give me NIU +5 as my doggy of the day. As we move down the board, and we are still going to be cooking with gas. And please, if you guys are watching this now, you're watching this later, you're watching this whenever, please like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. And if anything, if you've already subscribed to the channel, if you've already hit the notification, just hit the thumbs up every time you watch one of our videos. Please, 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 please. That's all I ask of you. And we'll be giving out free plays all year long. Now I'm moving down the board on this one, and this one is kind of a tough one here. But I just can't trust Tennessee as of late. They've been kind of regressing here. It's Arkansas versus Tennessee. They're playing in Tompkins Boiling Arena. Tompkins Bowling Arena, Knoxville, Tennessee, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This game does tip off here. And I'm going to be going with Arkansas plus the 5.5 as the play. Listen, I'm going to be going with looking at Tennessee on this one. 2-4 straight up in their last 6 games, 2-6 against the spread in their last 8. So this is a team that's not really backable at this point as far as covering numbers. But you got Arkansas coming off a close loss to Bama, so they got a chip on the shoulder. They were 7.5-point dogs on the road, and they've won 5 out of the last 8 games, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. Now Arkansas, I mean, statistically, they're not a bad team. They actually match up pretty well with Tennessee. They're 48th in offensive efficiency, 73rd in field goal percentage, 28th in 2-point percentage, 133rd in offensive rebounds. Now Tennessee, they got a good defense. Let's just face it. They're the best defense in the country. They're ranked first in defensive efficiency, first in defending shots, and 150th in defensive rebounds. So Arkansas is going to have to figure out something with the offense on this one to kind of get past this Tennessee defense that's really playing out of their minds all season long. Now here's where we get the discrepancy on this one, because Arkansas does have a good defense, and this is why I think this game is going to be a lot closer than the number. You got Tennessee's defense ranked first in defensive efficiency, first in defending shots, 150th in, I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrong stat, 62nd in offensive efficiency, 225th in field goal percentage, but they're a good rebounding team. They're 5th in offensive rebounds. Okay. Let's look at the Arkansas defense. They're 10th in defensive efficiency, 15th in defending shots, which is going to work well for them. But they got a little bit of discrepancy on the rebounding side, 139th in defensive rebounding. So if they can keep boxing out, do the routine, eliminate second chance opportunities for Tennessee, this game is going to be really good. Plus, I like Arkansas in this spot. Every time they play Tennessee, they seem to be able to cover. They've covered the last 4 matchups, and they haven't played each other this year at all. So I think Arkansas playing the way they're playing right now, I think they're just playing better ball than Tennessee. That's just kind of like on a downskid going into conference tournament play, and then also got to carry that over into the brackets. I don't like this Tennessee team at all currently, and I'm going to be going with the Razorbacks on this one, and that is plus 5.5, 1 unit special.
Oh, we out here, so weeping, baby.
And that's what we hope to do here. Markel in the chat says, I'm going money line. Let's cash. I think he's referring to NIU. All right, moving down the board, we got 2 more plays for you on this rendition of the late night bangers, which I did early today for you guys because I was so mad at myself about giving such an egregious card yesterday. I had to come out here and double down on the picks. All right, so let's go into another Big Ten game here. This one kicks off at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Michigan State versus Nebraska. Pinnacle Bank Arena, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And listen, I'm going to be going with the road favorite on this one. Michigan State minus 4.5 as the play. Listen, Michigan State coming off a brutal loss. One of the most brutal losses of the season. They absolutely dominated the game versus Iowa, and they let them off the hook. Lost the game 112 to 106 as 5.5-point dogs. But if you actually look at their last 4 games, they've actually won 3 out of the last 4. So that was the one that they lost. I'm sorry, they won 3 out of the last 4 prior to that game. So this is a team that has to win, and it's a blue blood team. It's a Tom Izzo coach team. I'm going to trust those teams down the stretch going into the tournament more than I'm going to trust the other teams that probably don't have the experience at this time of the season. Nebraska is also on a 4-game win streak, 4-0 against the spread in that span. But I think that what you're going to see here is you're going to see a discrepancy here that I think is going to be more predicated on the fact that we need the Michigan State defense to step up and make stops versus Nebraska. Breaking down the stats, Michigan's offense is ranked 52nd in offensive efficiency, 152nd in field goal percentage, 14th in three-point land, and 29th on the free throw line. Really good numbers there for shooting wise for the Spartans. But you got to look at Nebraska's defense. They still play pretty well on the defensive side, 58th in defensive efficiency, 124th in defending shots. But they're not a great rebounding team, 151st in defensive rebounds. But here's where I think the game is going to be decided. Nebraska doesn't have a great offense. They're 166 in offensive efficiency. They're 298th in shooting the three, 351st on the free throw line, and then 288th in offensive rebounds. So this team doesn't really shoot well. They miss their shots a lot, and they don't get the offensive rebounds. That's what that stat says to me. However, when you look at the Michigan State defense, very good stats. They're 33rd in defensive efficiency, 42nd in field goal percentage, and they're 61st in the country at defensive rebounds. So I think they can contest the shot. They'll be able to get the boards into transition and be able to dominate this Nebraska team even on the road. Now, Michigan State did win the first game 74-56 as 7-point favorites, but the line didn't really move as much as I thought it would. It's a little bit of a sharp line on this one at 4.5, favored by Michigan State. But Michigan State's playing for something here, folks. They have 11 losses. And if you actually look at the Joe Lunardi bracket, if that means anything to you, they got them projected at number 7. But it's not like they still have to play out the season, and they still have to win games. And this game is just as important as the next game and the next game. They're going to have to be able to sustain what they have right now. And in order to do that, they need to come in here on the road and get a big win versus Nebraska. So I'm going to be taking the blue blood on this one. The Michigan's the tried and true, the Michigan State Spartans minus 4.5 as the play. As we go in there, Michael, what's up, buddy? What's going on, my friend? How you doing? How you been? Michael in the chat likes Boise tonight. Revenge spot, unranked favorite, overranked. Yes. That line is so suspicious to me. It stinks. Boise's just let me down a lot this year. I think it's a lot more predicated on the fact that Boise still has a chance to make the tournament. They're, I believe, the last 4 out, if I remember that correctly, or the last 4 in, based on Joe Lunardi's statistics there. But I'm thinking that that probably is the best look on that one. So if I have a lean, I'd probably go Boise State on that one. All right. Next item up for business in the last pick of the night. We're going to the late night degenerate special on this one, and we're going into the pit, as they say, New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I'm not talking about Breaking Bad, baby. It's Fresno State versus New Mexico. And I'm going with the favorite on this one, New Mexico minus 7.5. Yes, I know New Mexico's been a falling knife, and I'm trying to catch it here. So maybe I'm taking my chances here, but I can't get past how that line has moved so far up. New Mexico's 1-6 straight up in the last 7, and they're off a close loss versus San Diego State, 73-71. They've covered their last 3 games though, so I can't take that away from them. Now you got to let Fresno. They're 1-4 straight up in their last 5. 2-3 gets the spread in that span. Also, you got to look at the numbers on this one. I mean, Fresno State's just got an awful offense. 256 in offensive efficiency, 301st in field goal percentage, 356 in 3-point percentage, and they're 300th in the country in offensive rebounds. Now you look at the defensive side for New Mexico, 90th in defensive efficiency, 121st in defending shots, 106th in offensive rebounding. Edge goes to New Mexico on this one by far. They're just a better defense, and they will be able to handle this Fresno State team that is not playing well now. Now you got Fresno's defense. They're ranked 71st in defensive efficiency, 179th in defending shots, 183rd in defending defensive rebounds. And defending the 3, they're really bad. 326th at defending the 3. On the other side, look at New Mexico's offense. Very good offense. 23rd in the country, to be exact, in offensive efficiency. 56th in field goal percentage. 193rd in offensive rebounding. 69th in 3-point percentage. So obviously, I'm trying to give you these stats. They're top 100 in shooting percentages in most of the statistical categories, and they're going against a team that can't really defend the ball or defend any shots. So that's why I like taking New Mexico in this spot. Also, New Mexico's covered 3 out of the last 4 versus Fresno State. It is a revenge game. They did lose the first one January 3rd. The Fresno 71-67 is 3.5-point favorites. I think New Mexico is going to have a chip on their shoulder in this spot, and they're in a spot where they need to win games. They're not out of it as far as March Madness is concerned, and they're going to have some work to do down the stretch. And it starts here tonight in the pit at home in a revenge spot. Give me New Mexico -7.5 as the play. And that's going to do it here on the Late Night Bangers edition of Tuesday night, the last day of February the 28th. And I want to make sure that everybody in here that's watching us now, watching this later, make sure you subscribe to the Sports Wagering Network, please. Hit the bell. Hit every like button of every video that you see on here. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be pumping daily content out here all the time. I'm going to give you college basketball picks all the way through March Madness. We're going to be doing baseball after that. We're going to be doing NBA. We're going to be doing everything on this channel. So please, please, please like and subscribe to the channel and support us as we grow into this 2023 sports gambling season. So to recap for everybody, let's go undefeated. I gave you 6 plays here, so you better be thanking me if we go 6-0. God damn it. I'm going to be going Akron -9, Indiana -4.5, NIU +5, Arkansas +5.5, Michigan State -4.5, and New Mexico -7.5. Oh, and by the way, I didn't forget best bet. All right, the best bet on this show is going to be Akron -9. That tips off at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a revenge spot for Akron. The line swing is 12 points. Akron has covered 8 out of the last 9, and they're 8 versus Ball State, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 home games. It's the perfect spot, I think. You got to be taking Akron on this one. Too many boxes checked over the other 6, but that's going to do it, folks. We will put a graphic up so you won't miss any of my picks. And make sure you share the channel, retweet, do whatever it takes to make us grow, baby, because I want to come out here and continue to give you the bangers that bang all the time in every damn sport there is. So until next time, I say good luck to your picks. Let's cash some tickets. And as always, let's keep dancing.